Hello, welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Justice for All. I got a game over on this next section, so I know a bit about what to do, and at one point I may be completely stumped. Yay! Time. Incriminating evidence we were discussing with Gumshoe, and now I know what to do. We won't be hanging around here for 5 minutes wondering what to do. Isn't that a delight? Sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. Hold it! Kaslam. Why didn't you say so in your testimony earlier? You're kind of scary today, you know, pal? Come now, Mr. Wright. There is no need for that kind of attitude in my court. Alright, just please stop glaring at me like that. Angry Phoenix is angry. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the scene of the crime. Hold it! Maya's costume? Yeah, she was wearing this when we arrested her. Maya, she's wearing a channeling costume today, too. Is she not allowed to wear anything else? Is she? As you can see, it's covered in blood. Apparently that's happy. There's blood on the costume. Lab results show that it is the victim's blood. Is blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes. Definitely not good. Are there any other clues you could glean from this piece of evidence? Well... Objection! Apparently! If you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad, not enough time to move on. Yes, Miss Von Karma is perfectly correct. Now even the judge is on her side. But if I bite off more I can chew here, what should I do? Press for them then. Why not? Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. There must be a clue somewhere in this costume. I just have to look harder. Mr. Wright! Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There is no way for you to poke a hole in it. Ah! Looks like my time is up, so about the costume. There is one more thing. Kaslam. Did you notice it? Your Honor! Actually, there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence. What? What are you talking about, pal? Where is this problem you're talking about? I've come this far. There's no turning back now. I still love the new, tricks. I'm not sure what it's called. Math, smoke and mirror, or tricks and... smoke and tricks and... It's basically the theme used for investigation, such as this. I like it, it's a good improvement on the original. The problem I have with this piece of evidence is here. Take that! Kaslam. Again. I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume. The sleeve? There is a tiny hole here. A hole? But that wasn't in the report. Hold on! What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder. Gunpowder? No one ever told me! A hole that smells of gunpowder. Looks like I found the hole I was looking for. That was a pump. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make is there must be a bullet hole. Ooh, Venus. Order. Order! Order! This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else. Maya's costume updated in the court record. Sorry about that. I guess we messed up, sir. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That, just now, was a fluke, nothing more. Objection! How can you say something like that? It's a huge oversight. I agree, it's a mistake on the part of the police. What Prosecutor von Karma has said is true. The evidence still stands. If you do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then... No way! Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony. Yes, sir. Dang it! Almost had it. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. However, the point of doing that is to discover that that hole indicates that's not entirely true. OBJECTION! Detective Dick Gumshoe! Yeah? I mean, you called me by my full name is kind of a weird feeling. Said that my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Yeah, I did. Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlooked supposed to mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is this what it means to not fight back? You're right! It would seem that way. If the victim tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything. Right, the wind seems to be shifting. Don't get cocky, Phoenix! Huh. What is with that? Are you finished yet, lad? Well, are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Mrs. Von Karma? It seems that my affair was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea. That is correct. But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty. Ah! Not that you... Why, that's right! Which means... the defense has yet to prove anything at all. No! Well, yes, that's true. Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense. Huh? How so? Ah! Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course. You mean by myself? You want me to put together a scenario all by myself? Ah! Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Witness testimony. What transpired? However, we're getting there. We're getting there. During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, so... While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. I will say ahead of time, I now know what to do. However, that doesn't make it any easier for me to sometimes remember. The scenario you've put together does make sense. Yes, sir. I'm so happy. Well, Mr. Wright, what does my beard tell you to do? Just by listening, it does make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. Good old Phoenix, not giving up. But please refrain from glaring at me like that. Angry Phoenix! This is Angry Phoenix! Do not make him angry. Angry Phoenix, smash table! Point finger at puny humans. Now then, your cross-examination, please. Cross-examination. What transpired? During the channeling, the defendant saw a chance to stab the victim in the chest. Hold it! There is quite a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant, and in body strength, it seems unlikely the defendant could have stabbed the victim. Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess. Objection! You think you can get away with such flimsy reasoning, Mr. Phoenix Wright? My affair was in the middle of channeling, was she not? When channeling with the Curian channeling technique, the medium physically changes. With the nurse's build, the defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor. I don't believe it. She even studied up on the Curian channeling technique. Like I said before, I am perfect. About what you were talking about, I don't quite get it. Never mind. Let's continue with the testimony. Poor judge. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. Hold it! So he was stabbed, but the stab wound didn't kill him. If you think about the blood loss, it was pretty bad. How bad would you say it was? Actually, I went to give blood the other day. And afterward, I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. I guess the damage was maybe about 10 times the dizziness. Ah! So sorry! While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. Hold it! Where in the world did that pistol come from? It's a good question. I want her to sign a confession, said Gray. I'm gonna bring a gun. What? It looks like the victim, Dr. Gray, had specifically brought it for that day. But a handgun? He got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder. Why did Dr. Gray bring a gun? Was he taking precautions against something? The victim took a shot because they were too close. They missed, I think. Here we go. Oh wait, wrong one. Dang it! Witness statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Fortunately, I will have to penalize you, Mr. Wright. Oh, I must be on the wrong track? Hold it! So, you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired. Well, I'm glad you weren't hurt. The defendant then picked up on the opening and took the victim's gun and ended it. Might as well press this last bit. Hold it! Maya has never fired a gun before in her life! The victim had already taken off the safety. With the safety off, even an amateur like you can fire it by pulling the trigger. Even me? I wonder. Now do you understand? Von Karma's logic is perfect. Yeah, it didn't help your dad, did it? He was a dick. And looked old enough to be your grandfather, not your dad. His testimony, not hers, certainly makes us look very bad. But there's got to be a contradiction in there somewhere. Uncovering it is going to uncover the truth. I can feel it. Sorry about this. Let me see. Objection! Missing the tiny hole on this costume will be the prosecution's undoing. What do you mean? Waboom. Apparently that's directed. This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright! You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired the gun at point blank. Sorry for the delay, it took me a while to remember what to do. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on the costume? Remember what was taught about gunpowder burn earlier? There's no ring of burn around it, it's just a hole. Gunpowder burn? That's what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh! But there's not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume. That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. Objection! I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that? Anyone can explain anything away! And I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of that fight, the victim pushed the defendant away, and it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How was that? OBJECTION! As if that were even possible. According to testimony, the wound from stabbing was very severe. The the victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Well then, that's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then, while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you. That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I must be careful. I can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. It makes sense, but something doesn't quite make sense. There is a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor. Fatal? Flaw? There! Very interesting. I would love to see what this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. When she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. It took me a while to use my head to get this, but if you read this hole is 8 inches off the ground, whereas the height explained in the firing bit earlier is 10 to 12, which is lower than was indicated, as I guess you would gather. I didn't, because I picked him sometimes. Take that! This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic. What is that, a folding screen? I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in the folding screen. Ah! It looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Who? Where? What? So happy. Mr. Wright, your explanation, please. These two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground. Which means... when the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, was actually squatting low to the ground. Order. Order! This changes everything. Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot, and the bullet hit this folding screen. It hit at this location, about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. See, now, I'm going to show this because I honestly think this is weird, but, I have enough to do this for a bit, as this is where I'm stuck. Take that! Somewhere around here. Uh-oh, the judge's face grunge like just smells some serious bad breath. That is, wait, I just realised I forgot to brush this morning. Excuse me while I freshen up. Sure. In the meantime, I want you to think things through again, Mr. Wright. Okay. Now, I've tried this a few times. I've gone based on logic. The time the defendant was in this area. See, I say, for example, take that! Here. Behind the folding screen? There! The victim is attack worth fighting, were they not? Then what would the attack be doing all the way back there? Besides which, if the attack was behind the folding screen, then how could the victim even know where to shoot? It's obviously impossible. Yeah, I guess so. Mr. Wright! Boy, did I just screw up royally. What's done is done. Now I should focus on my mind as an entire crime. It's working it out that's troubling me. I should be able to get this. Take that! She was standing here, near the folding screen. Wait a second! We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole, but how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? That's impossible. But why? You, of all people, should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If she was shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder in the man's cloak present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume. Ah! Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright! You! I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot at. Do you think this has changed the defendant's situation? It changes everything. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything! The prosecution's claim that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with a knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time? Squatting all the way by the folding screen? Exactly. If my affair with a real murderer. Because, like, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Not great sound, is it? On further consideration, it does make very massive sound. Yeah, I figured there has to be a reason. Figuring things out and removing the logic behind everything is your job! Ugh. Right, the rest of the trial should be in the back. Blast radius of disaster. You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a rough time with you. You amuse me. Of all the things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile? Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic? Huh? How is it all my fault? You can start repairing your standing by first removing that freestand goatee. Oh, and rest assured, your punishment will come later. Punishment? Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? Gotta be Lotta! Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness. Kaslam. To be continued. We'll continue with Lotta in a bit. Suffice to say, I have to upload these parts! See you in a bit.